I was doing DoorDash and Uber Eats. I was babysitting, and I was saying yes to basically every time someone said like, hey, we're looking for a server. By supplementing your income, then that extra money can be used towards other things like paying off your debt, paying off student loans, financing school, or even starting to fund a new business. Hey everyone, Eloisa here. In today's video, I'm gonna be sharing 5 things that I think everybody in their early 20s should do with their money, aka rich girl habits. Rich girl hacks. So if you're not a rich girl, but you are somebody who values time and financial freedom like I do, and like I did in my early 20s, then go ahead and keep on watching this video. A little bit about my credentials. So I graduated from USC with a bunch of student loans and a job that didn't actually pay me that much. And so one thing is I always knew that I wanted to eventually have time freedom, location freedom, travel the world and have money and all this kind of stuff and not have to worry about my next paycheck. So I did some things that really set me up to where I am today. Fast forward, today I have a lot of freedom when it comes to where I want to spend my money and how I want to spend my time. And that's honestly a direct result of the decisions that I made from ages 20 to 25. And so if you're in that age range, or even if you're a little bit older or a little bit younger, all of these things that I'm going to share with you today are things that I know can directly help you save money. And not only save money, but pay off debt and start building wealth. So if you're interested in this, then keep on watching. So this first piece of advice is extremely important, and let me say that probably a bajillion rich people have told me this directly. It's not sexy, but it can be fun. And that is to drive a cheap car and pay it off and maintain it. So let me give you a little bit of story time. So I drive today with a successful business and all these things. I drive the same car that I did in college. It was old when I was in college. It's a 2007. And that means it's even older today and it has more issues with it. But one thing about it is that it is a reliable car. It's very reliable, and I have the same mechanic who's worked on it over time. And so we know everything that's gone into it. Initially starting off with a good car was a hand-me-down from my dad, and have now just maintained it really well. And I probably put a couple $1,000s into it because there have been some pretty big repairs. The amount of money that I put into it is nothing and very minimal compared to if I would have went out and bought my dream car or even a better car. So of course, I'm not gonna go and buy the most expensive car that I can or my ultimate dream, but I've always wanted to drive a Jeep. And so instead of going out and buying a Jeep, which I almost did a couple years back, looking at the payments, it was gonna be a couple $100s a month. I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna stick with my car. And I did. I stuck with my car through paying off my student loans, quitting my 9-to-5 job in marketing when I left off to Bali, and I came back for a couple times, through building my business. And now I'm still driving the same car, even though I really don't have to, and everyone's like, get a new car. But I'm still driving the same car now that I'm trying to add multiple streams of income to my business. And so that being said, like I said, it's not sexy because it's not a sexy car. Like, it doesn't turn heads. It's a little bit loud. But the thing is that it's saving me a lot of money, and it's giving me the ability, instead of putting money into my car or into a car payment or car note, I'm putting that money into retirement, or putting that money into my business, or investing that money into myself and getting hydrofacials and all that fun microneedling and PRP and vitamin injections and all that kind of stuff. I'm able to also invest in my health and do my allergy panels and doctor visits and all of that kind of stuff. That first piece of advice is something that has definitely saved me a lot of money and allowed me to reinvest in other things that are going to make me more money versus a car. When you go and buy a new car off the lot, you are buying a depreciating asset unless that car is going to make you more money. So one of my goals is to create a revenue stream with a car if I'm going to buy a new one, or buying a car through my business, so that it's something that is going to give back to me and save me in other areas. So step number 1 is keep your car. Make the fixes as needed. And if you're going to buy a used car, make sure it's something reliable and that's something that's within your budget. The second piece of advice that I highly recommend is to get a side hustle. What's a side hustle? That is another stream of income that you can make in addition to your main hustle. So if you have a main job, your side thing might be the Uber, driving DoorDash, those kinds of things. Or even like what I did is starting a social media marketing agency, babysitting, all of that stuff. And by supplementing your income, then that extra money can be used towards other things like paying off your debt, paying off student loans, financing school, or even starting to fund a new business. In my experience, when I was working at ABC News, I always had clients on the side who I was doing social media work for. And the cool thing is that eventually, like, I got really good at it, and my side hustle during the pandemic time became a really awesome cushion financially for myself that then became my main hustle, which is what I'm doing now. And now it's a 6-figure plus business, and it's grown. And so something about your side hustle, make it something that you're passionate about that you can eventually grow and maybe outsource and grow into a main business that doesn't require all of your time. The cool thing about starting a business is that the earning potential on it is limitless. But start with something small. If you don't know where to start, do things that you know, like maybe getting a side job as like a barista, or doing Uber or Uber Eats, DoorDash, things where you can control your own schedule, and then eventually see what skills you have, and maybe you can start making some extra money on the side. Me personally, I will give a little word of caution, is don't work too hard, because there was a time when I was trying to buy my first property, save up for that, pay off my student loans, and move out of my parents' house, all those things. And I was working my main job, I had a commute to. I was doing DoorDash and Uber Eats. I was babysitting, and I was saying yes to basically every time someone said like, hey, we're looking for a server here, or do you want to help decorate for this wedding? I'll give you extra money. You want to dog sit my dog? Like, I was saying yes to every single thing. And that's kind of like some grit and like tenacity and like hard work that you have to dig yourself out of a hole. But once you're out of that hole, then you can start putting that money, like once you're debt free, you can start putting that money towards your business, or you can put that money towards like a future fund if you want to get a new car, or if you want to move out of your parents' house, or have your own place, or get some like medical attention. Like for me, I did this whole like internal makeover with the doctor, not plastic surgery, but it was basically like a gut test, looking at my gut microbiome, checking my vitamin levels, all of that kind of stuff. So health-wise, I can get up to par and really feel like my best self. But let me tell you, it was not cheap, eh? It cost money, a lot of it. But I wouldn't have been able to do all of that stuff if I hadn't put in that season of hard work. So getting some type of side hustle is something that I highly recommend. And if you're in a job that really just isn't paying you, and you're looking for a career change, I tell this to everybody, even my little sister, I tell this to everybody, is look into a tech boot camp or a tech school. It's usually a lot cheaper than like 4-year college, and people come out of there like almost guaranteed with the job at 100K. Check into that, and if you are in a space with extra time, then go ahead and pick up a little side hustle. Number 3 is to adopt a timeless style. Why? Because when you spend a lot of money on fast fashion, it's just a bad investment, because you feel cute in the moment, and trust me, I get it, I understand. But in a couple seasons, those pair of jeans or that outfit or that skirt, which was so cute in the moment, is going to be out of style. You're not going to want to wear it. And if it was fast fashion, it's probably cheap, so it's not going to last you a long time. So this is girl math. Let's say you buy a pair of leggings. Let's just use Lululemon. You buy a pair of Lululemon leggings and they are $150. That's expensive for a pair of leggings compared to buying like $30 pair of leggings at TJ Maxx or something. But that pair of Lululemon leggings, depending on how many times you wear it, you're gonna get your use out of it. So if it's this is girl math, okay? It's not real math, this is girl math. If it's $150 and you wear those leggings 150 times, I tell myself that if I get my worth out of them, then it's worth it, versus something that's going I'm gonna wear a couple times and I'm gonna end up getting rid of it. So what I like to do is try to save up and spend my money on pieces that are more timeless and that are gonna last a long time. So like a nice leather jacket or like a really cool coat or some jeans that just fit you perfectly. That's really what type of clothing you wanna spend your money on if you know you're going to be on a money-making journey, I would say. Things that are probably solid colors. So you'll see I usually wear a lot of solid colors. My friends joke because I love white shirts. I just feel like they look so good on my skin tone. But if you could have like some basics and then you mix and match them and you add accessories here and there, and that creates more of a timeless style. And you aren't really spending a lot of money on fast fashion, which is kind of feels like a waste of money sometimes. And you are also not contributing to all of the clothing waste that's happening around the world, because these are pieces that you are going to keep longer. So here are some examples of pieces that are more sustainable, I guess, or things that are like timeless or have been in style for a long time. So like think like solid colors, nothing too printed, dresses, things that really flatter you. And the cool thing is that you can still let your style shine when you do this. And I think the way to do that is through accessories. Number 4 is move to a place where your dollar goes farther. Move to a place where your money goes farther. Now, I am speaking from experience because I currently live in California and I'm living right now in San Diego, California, right by the beach. It's pretty expensive here, guys. So let me tell you, like when I shop at the grocery store, each item is like at least $2 more expensive than my hometown, and probably 20 times more expensive than when I was living in Southeast Asia. So I noticed a very big difference on how far my dollar goes depending on where I live. Now, because I am at this point financially in my life, I do have the ability to live here because of the decisions that I made in my early 20s. But if you live in an expensive area, take that into consideration and think, okay, well, can I move somewhere else? So I know, for example, in California, the Central Valley is a lot more affordable, or anywhere further away from the beach you go, the more affordable homes and rent tend to be, as well as grocery stores and all of that kind of stuff, because you're not in the touristy area. And then same thing, I know when we were living in Houston, Texas, Houston was more affordable, or different parts of Texas were more affordable than California. And taxes are different as well. So you want to take that into consideration. And this is something that's like being high maintenance to be low maintenance, but something that I believe changed my life is moving to Bali, Indonesia for a little bit and really touring Southeast Asia as a digital nomad. And that really helped me save a lot of money because of the dollar and how much further the US dollar goes. So even consider finding a place where your dollar goes further. I know sometimes when we visit my family in Mexico, it's the same thing. Like our dollar goes a lot further, and so you have the ability to do more things. So for example, like if you want to get a facial or a massage, or even just going out to eat, it's a lot more affordable in other parts of California than it is in San Diego. So take that into consideration. Can you live in a more affordable place? And if you have a remote job, which I know a lot of people do, maybe even consider doing that. One of my friends, she works and lives in San Francisco, California, which is notoriously very expensive. And they're looking at moving to Texas. And she can still have her job where she gets paid really well. But for that time of when they want to start a family, have a home, buy some property, invest in their retirement, they are going to be living in Texas so that they can actually allocate that money towards their future goals versus having to spend it on day-to-day stuff. So that's a piece of advice. I know not everybody can do it, but you can work towards it if it's something you want to do. Like me, it took me maybe 3 years to work towards being able to have an online business to move and live around the world. So if that's one of your goals, and put on your vision board, pray about it, and girl, put in the work. Number 5 are just some things that didn't deserve their own things. I'm just gonna group them all together. You always hear people saying like, oh, millennials spend tons of money on coffee. Like little things like that. So one is a car. Cars are so expensive. Gas is so expensive right now. So what I think is good is carpooling. Carpooling with your boyfriend, carpooling with your friends, having your parents give you a ride somewhere. Because it adds up. The more that you use your card, the more that you have to fill up your gas tank. It's crazy right now. Another thing is groceries. With grocery shopping, honestly, shop the perimeter. It's healthier for you. You're gonna be looking more tight and bright and healthy. Your heart's gonna be clean, your arteries are gonna be cleaner if you shop the perimeter. It's basically all the whole foods. So, you know, apples, your bananas, your salads, your juices, your just meat, dairy, all that kind of stuff, versus shopping within the aisles where it's all like preservatives and boxes and cans and all that kind of stuff, things that are more expensive. And I notice, like, whenever I shop at Mexican grocery stores, like Vallarta, or Asian grocery stores like H Mart and stuff, like, I tend to save a lot more money on my produce, and the produce tends to be really, really good. Even, in my opinion, better than Sprouts or Whole Foods or some of these other grocery stores. I recommend shopping there. And if you're like a wellness girly like me, somebody who likes all of her like health things like collagen and adaptogens and vitamins and probiotics and all that stuff, stay away from places you're gonna be tempted. Like Whole Foods is a huge, massive temptation for me. So go to places that don't have those things. In grocery shopping, shop the perimeter. Another one is if you do wanna live in a place, like right now, like I said, I'm in San Diego, I'm right by the ocean, and I have a roommate. And it's pretty cool because she's awesome. She makes music and she's a lot of fun. And so one thing I recommend doing is seeing if you can get a room with somebody. Even if you get your own apartment, but you need some help with the rent, or even if you don't need help with the rent, but you're still trying to work towards saving your money, putting your money somewhere else that's not towards rent, get a subleaser for maybe even like 3 or 4 months and let them live there for the holidays or something like that. And you can do that on Facebook and just meet them and vet them first. And that's usually a pretty good way to save at least half on your rent. So that's called house hacking. Something even if you purchased your own house, so say your rent, I don't know, is like $3,000 on your house, then you can rent out a room and charge someone $1,500, and then there's half of your mortgage payment paid off. So you can sublease your rooms out or rent them out for a specific period of time, and then when you're done with it and you don't want to share your space with nobody, then you can like let them go when their lease is over. Have your time to yourself. So that's another really good one, the house hacking and roommates and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much like everybody in California does it. Like a lot of people do it. Like there's people who are building ADUs connected to their house, which is basically like rooms, converting their garages into apartments so that people can live there. But that's just another good option, and doing it while you still can, like versus if you already have a family, you probably don't want a stranger living in your side room. Versus if you're single, then you might have fun like us, like me and my roommate, like we have a good time here. So that's just another little piece of advice on how you can save some more money. Alright, so that's everything that I have to share with you today. But if you are interested in finances and money, let me know, because I love financial freedom and wealth building. Multiple of my clients are financial YouTubers, and I just love working with them. And so I have a lot of tips from that, and then also from my own experience of paying off all my student loans, building a business, all of that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comments down below. And I also have a playlist on personal finance that you guys can check out. I really believe that everybody has the ability to achieve financial freedom, and I believe everybody should be able to have time freedom as well. And usually when you have more opportunities with money, you also have more opportunities with time. And so it's something that I'm working towards every single day, and I'm here for anyone who else is interested in learning about this kind of stuff. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and comment down below to let me know what other videos you'd like to see, because I'm gonna be making some more videos. Alrighty guys, bye.